Welcome to today's deep dive. We're really glad you're here with us
Yeah, absolutely.
because today's mission is exploring this frankly terrifying 1988 aviation disaster,
Hmm.
one that fundamentally changed the safety of every single commercial flight you take today.
It's a wild story for sure.
It really is. We are drawing from a detailed video transcript by Dhruv Rathi, which breaks down the unbelievable story of Aloha Airlines Flight 243. So, okay, let's unpack this. Picture a sunny day in Hawaii. It's April 28th, 1988.
Right, and the plan was just a very routine 35-minute hop from Hilo to Honolulu.
Exactly. But there is a detail from the source that just completely sets the stage for everything that follows. While boarding, a passenger actually noticed a crack in the metal near the door.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but assuming the airline already knew about it, she didn't say a word. And just 20 minutes later, cruising at 24,000 feet, 35 square meters of the plane's roof, violently blew off.
Which is terrifying. Suddenly, passengers sitting there in summer vacation clothes are facing minus 45 degrees Celsius temperatures.
And brutal 500-kilometer-per-hour winds.
Exactly. The atmospheric pressure drops instantly, creating this severe risk of hypoxia. The oxygen masks dropped, but the supply system was completely destroyed when the roof tore away.
I mean, the communication systems were down, too. You have air hostess Michelle Honda crawling through the cabin against the wind, actually asking passengers if anyone knew how to fly.
Because everyone just assumed the pilots were gone.
Right. But they weren't. Captain Robert Schornsteimer and First Officer Mimi Tompkins were still in their seats, literally staring out at open sky where the cockpit door used to be.
Yeah, with severe structural damage and no door to speak of.
Which raises the question, how did they actually get this plane down? Here's where it gets really interesting.
It was an incredible feat of flying. They had to execute a rapid descent just to get breathable air for the passengers, dropping at about 4,100 feet per minute.
While simultaneously having to navigate around a 10,000-foot mountain, the Haleakala summit, to divert to the Maui airport.
Right. Add to that a failed left engine, and the nose of the plane was actually drooping by a full meter because only the floor structure was holding the front of the aircraft together.
The fact that they made it to the runway at all is stunning. But the survival of the passengers is only part of the story. For you listening, we have to look at the invisible mechanics that caused the roof to rip off in the first place.
And what's fascinating here is the underlying structural failure. To understand why this happened, you have to look at how flight cycles work. Every time a plane flies, the pressurized cabin causes the metal frame to expand.
Like a balloon.
Exactly like a balloon, and upon landing, it contracts. Over time, that constant expansion and contraction weakens the metal. Boeing designed this particular 737 to withstand 75,000 of these cycles.
And because Aloha Airlines used this plane exclusively for short, constant island hopping, I imagine it racked up those cycles incredibly quickly.
It did. It had endured 89,680 cycles.
Way past the limit.
Well past it. The root cause comes down to the epoxy glue holding the overlapping aluminum sheets together. High moisture in the Hawaiian environment degraded that glue, forcing the metal rivets to bear all the structural stress.
Wow.
And that stress created microscopic cracks radiating from the rivet holes.
It sounds like a ticking time bomb. Did anyone actually know this was a risk?
Yes, and this is where the theme of ignoring warning signs really emerges. Boeing had actually warned airlines about this specific epoxy issue since 1972, recommending a new bonding method.
But Aloha Airlines failed to maintain the plane properly.
They did. They even falsely claimed they were using eddy current testing.
Which is that advanced method using electromagnetic fields to detect invisible subsurface flaws in the metal, right?
Right. But in reality, they weren't doing this testing. They ignored the manufacturer's warnings, just like that passenger ignored the visible crack at boarding.
So despite all of those massive failures, the pilots landed safely in Maui. Tragically, one air hostess, C.B. Lansing, was swept out of the plane. But miraculously, 94 people survived.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, those 94 passengers survived largely because the seatbelt sign happened to still be on.
That is wild to think about.
Yeah. But the legacy of Flight 243 is what happened next. This incident forced the aviation industry to stop relying on visual inspections alone. It birthed the 1991 Aging Aircraft Safety Program, completely overhauling maintenance.
So now we have those mandatory tech-assisted inspections.
Exactly, using ultrasonic and electromagnetic methods to catch metal fatigue long before it becomes visible to the human eye.
It's incredible to think how that one specific disaster fundamentally reshaped the rigorous safety protocols we all rely on today.
It really did, and it leaves you with a really important question to mull over. In our modern world of heavily regulated automated systems, how often do we, just like that passenger who spotted the initial crack, see a warning sign, but stay silent because we assume the experts already know?